Hey everyone, it's me. The title of this video is You Know You're a Good Parent If, and this has to do primarily with people who go through divorce. And I've been divorced twice and am now remarried, and this is it for me. Because I finally married someone who is my equal, and I went through a lot of work and a lot of therapy to get to the place I am, and that's just the way it is. So anyways, I was married 8 years the first time, had two daughters. They had different biological fathers, went through, hearings, uh, regarding paternity and stuff like that, which we knew my first daughter was not my then husband's biological daughter. He signed her birth certificate. So we then subsequently had another daughter after. And so when we were going through our divorce, we didn't argue or fight about custody ever. We The primary issue was that he didn't want to pay the debts. And so after 2 years of being dragged through hearing or just meetings with lawyers and things like that, he first of all said he didn't want to pay child support for the first, who was not biologically his, and we had to have DNA done to prove that when she was only 9 years old. And then finally, after going through court, he agreed to pay for 17% for the second and 3% for the first, which was probably $25 a month or something like that for the first, for the second, for the first daughter. And so, but never, not once did he bring up custody or that he wanted them more. In fact, the first 8 months after we separated, he saw them only when I worked, like an hour after they got out of school till I got home from work. And then never had them on the weekends or holidays or anything like that. And after 8 months, I had to say to my lawyer, I want him to have them every other weekend minimum, because just please. So we agreed to that. And then after we got divorced, he said, well, I work third shift, and on Fridays, I can only keep them one Saturday a month. And I said, well, you're with someone. They can stay with your then person, the person you're with. They can just spend the night there, because the girls were, well, now 10 and 11 years old. They can stay there and be there for you when you get off Saturday, and then you can sleep and then just spend the rest of the weekend with them. And he said, no, they can't be here when I'm not here. So I said, okay. So then I had my girls, and he saw them once a month, one Saturday a month, and that was it. And not once during the course of our divorce, after the girls, were teenagers and things like that, not once did he ever fight for custody. And in fact, my oldest daughter's biological father was married with 3 children. She met him throughout the course of our separation and such with the DNA, and not once did he ever fight for custody. So I raised these girls primarily on my own, made all of the decisions primarily on my own, and that's just the way it was. And then, of course, after they turned 18, so on and so forth, the child support ends, they get it back, they have more money, and I don't know what happened in the midst of all of that, because I don't know if he gave them money or whatever. But then, of course, now, after 13 years, I believe they both have relationships with their dad, the man I was married to, and also my oldest daughter's biological father. She has a relationship with him. But if you were such a bad parent, don't you think that your ex would have fought for custody? Would have brought proof to the courts to say you were a crappy parent? I know I don't know a lot of women, but I know some women who either lost custody. I've seen it in different shows where they are just not capable of parenting their children, and maybe they're not maternal, maybe they're, whatever the case may be, certain people have lost custody. But those of us who haven't and raised our children, you know, you're a good parent if you were assigned custody by the courts, primary custody by the courts, and not once did anyone ever step in to do an intervention to take your children from you. So give yourself a pat on the back that you absolutely were a good parent. and are still a good parent. If you are in this group and you love your children and you pray for them and you want the best for them and you forgive them and you continue to do for them, you're still a good parent. But it took me years to accept my situation and years to say I can't be treated like this by anyone, even my children. So I just want to say, give yourself a pat on the back and please don't beat yourself up and never diminish your worth simply because someone else doesn't find you worthy, because a lot of people do. So think about that. I hope this helps someone, and I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye bye.